What's up, AtoZSports here live on a Friday. Gonna have a good conversation today as the Titans just keep making things more complicated for Cam Ward's rookie season because a lot of NFL thoughts are going to be brought into this because last night the Texans get to 6-5, a 3-game win streak without CJ Stroud as they beat the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, and they make Josh Allen look bad. Worse than Cam Ward looked on Sunday, some might say. Maybe. I don't know. The Bills had to have a special teams touchdown and another big run from James Cook and not a lot of offense there from Buffalo, but the Texans win again. And Easton, you've been sitting on some data, waiting on the right time to present it. And thanks to Josh Allen, the 8 sacks allowed by his offensive line to him against that Houston Texans defensive front, now is the right time to bring up that data and talk about why everything's got to get so complicated when discussing Cam Ward's rookie season. The Titans are 1-9. Their offense stinks. Cam looks like he stinks. He's got 6 touchdown passes in 10 games, and it's not working very well. So we're going to bring the data to the show today and see how we feel about things. And so hope everybody's feeling well. Friday good news to wrap up the show and wrap up the week. Easton, what's going on? Welcome in. Let's get it rolling.
What's going on? Looking forward to this one. Going to be a good way to end our week. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody in the comments. Hope everyone's having a great start to their Friday. And I'm looking forward to talking through some of the ways that the Titans are bad at football, but they are also the unluckiest sons of guns in the Wild Wild West. Let me tell you, this is a real bummer for them in a couple of ways that maybe folks haven't even realized yet. So we're going to go through all of them, but not until you like the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. It's very easy. It's very simple. It's very free. And who doesn't love free things? All it takes is one click of your finger on that thumbs up button right below our faces on your screen, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. It's extremely helpful to us, so we really appreciate that. And then jump in the comments with Jason and Daniel Caribbean, Corey, Bork, Mr. Kayleen, Robbie, Bryce, Titans Kyle. Good morning to all of you. See some familiar faces in there. Join them. Become a familiar face here on the A to Z Sports Morning Show. We'd love to have you. We'd love to get to know you. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. With that, Austin, let's get started.
So officially welcome to A to Z Sports here live on a Friday, powered as always by the BTA Sports app. I'm Austin Stanley. He's Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for AtoZSports.com. And we are Nashville's on-demand sports network going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content, as is now the regular. I will tell you to follow us on Google. I will ask you to follow us on Google because Google is making a lot of changes, and now you can follow your favorite sources on Google. And so you should do that with A to Z Sports. We appreciate that. And we also have to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all your insurance needs, local and online at bartondrury.com. We've got Botero Carts. Life is short. Buy yourself a golf cart with 2 locations, Columbia and Gallatin. And also Window Nation, 50% off all window styles through the rest of this month. WindowNation.com. You could get up to 5 years of 0% financing. My windows are being installed on Tuesday. So I've got this show and then the game day shows and then Monday's show, and then I'm going to have new windows. That's how I think about things. How many shows until? And that's I got 2.5 more shows until new windows.
Right. Usually it's like till the weekend, till Thanksgiving, till Christmas Day, till my birthday. But no, for Austin, it's till my windows.
Till new windows, baby. Bring them on, WindowNation.com.
That's adult right there.
Let's see. We got Titans fan 81 saying when it's Austin and Easton, an exciting shouting argument is bound to ensue. Really?
I never know.
I mean, is that our duo reputation these days? Because normally that's for Zach and
that is usually Zach and you. Now Zach is so rarely around on the morning show anymore that maybe that's the torch being passed. I feel like we only really get after each other like maybe once a month. It's not. I don't think it's a super common occurrence. Now we love to debate, but
yeah, I mean,
I only see the I can't believe Easton talks to his boss like this comments like once a month.
Yeah. Caribbean Daniel says, y'all bickered last time. Last time, I don't what was it?
Was that the last time we were on the show? No, that was the game day show. That was a couple times ago.
What the hell what did we talk about? I don't remember.
It was Sunday. It was the game day show.
We did the show Tuesday.
I know, but the last time we really got after each other was on Sunday after the game.
That was definitely that was intense. That's you've been covering a 4 and 26 football team for way too long. So all right, let's get going actually to the topic at hand, because man, last night the Houston Texans put a spanking on Josh Allen and the Bills. I mean, it was a 23-19 final score. There's only 6 points scored in the second half total, but 17 points by the Houston
Texans. Defense took it to the Bills offense.
Absolutely. So the Texans win 3 in a row. They are now 6-5. They come off of that win with a last-minute field goal in Nashville over Cam Ward and the Titans 16-13. And they sacked Josh Allen 8 freaking times for a total of 70 yards lost last night on Thursday Night Football in a short week. And look, we're going to get into this here. Easton, I know you have some stats to compare Josh Allen and Cam Ward, so we might as well go ahead and jump into that. But the title of the show, as we'll get into more of the lyrical nature behind it, of this season is just getting more complicated to pick apart and to analyze, because you keep getting things like this. And so, Easton, I'll let you go stat comps back and forth with the NFL MVP and then the first overall pick who's struggling mightily.
Sure, why not? And I was going to throw together a graphic on this, and then I went to Twitter and saw that my buddy Justin Graver at Titans Film Room had already made one that looked pretty good. So apologies, but also compliments to Justin, who I just completely ripped this from. Thank you for your graphic design work on this.
I was about to say that this is not an Easton graphic. This looks way better.
Well, okay, let's pump the brakes on that. All right, I gave him a shout out. We don't have to slurp him that hard. Here is what the passing and running game looked like for both the Titans and the Bills 4 days apart from each other against the same defense. Now, fair to point out, the Titans were at home with that mighty Nissan Stadium home field advantage. The Texans were at their place, the Bills visiting Houston, where my Buffalo Bills good friend, expert on all things Bills, neuroticism Bills, reminded me that the Bills have been worse in Houston than anywhere else in the league, which is just such a Bills thing to know. They sacked him, as you pointed out, 8 times for 70 yards, which is crazy. They only sacked Cam Ward on Sunday 3 times for 23 yards. Cam went 24 of 37 for 194 yards passing. Josh 25 for 35, 262. So more volume for the reigning league MVP. But 2 interceptions from Josh Allen.
More yards. Night. I mean, the completions and attempts are pretty close.
Right. Yeah. More success downfield for Josh. Maybe definitely some more yards after catch as well. The touchdown interception ratio, though, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for Cam, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Josh. Cam's quarterback rating of 87, Josh's quarterback rating of 69, and I'll remind you once again, Cam Ward, rookie quarterback, Josh Allen, reigning league MVP. The Titans lost to the Texans by 3, and the Bills lost by 4. So there's a million cute little transitive property things you can do to say, the Titans and the Bills, the same team. Obviously not the case, but I do think that so basically the Titans would be 1-point favorites if they played the Bills in Houston. That's how that works, right? Yeah. Exactly. All of the tongue-in-cheekness aside, this does, I think, paint a picture about Cam Ward. I think it paints a picture about the Titans' offensive line, maybe J.C. Latham, perhaps, who's caught a lot of heat this week. And I think that it puts into perspective and really opens up a broader conversation, Austin, about how, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the Titans are, in fact, bad at football, but they have gotten genuinely, historically unlucky with the way that their season has panned out. For sure. And I want to bring up the J.C. Latham part of this too, because I know J.C. Latham was a easy target and was the target of... Come on, man. Yeah, I know. You want to do it? I got it. There we go. All right. So J.C. Latham was an easy target of the fan base, the analysis instantly, because he had 3 false starts of the Titans, 5 false starts on Sunday versus the Texans.
And everybody's like, oh, what a terrible game for JC Latham. And I think we even noticed in the post-game show, one thing we did agree on in that post-game show was that JC Latham was not bad. He was pretty good after the ball was snapped. So the whole thing is, if you don't false start, JC Latham did a pretty good job. Where last night, left tackle, right tackle, I don't even know who the right tackle is for the Bills, but he had a rough night. Deion Dawkins also had a rough night.
Yeah, who is their right tackle now? Keep going.
But, Will Anderson was eating alive their right tackle all night long. And it's something I think it should make Titans fans understand that JC Latham played a pretty good game.
Oh, Spencer Brown.
The false starts are absolutely inexcusable. But JC Latham is playing better football than I think he has gotten credit for. He is a part of the unfortunate string of events that this Titans team has gone through this season that we will kind of wrap in a bow and present later on in the show.
Yeah, I think it's also important. So a couple of things. I wish I had pulled this now that I'm thinking about it, but I saw an updated Week 12 graphic, a chart that put the offensive lines around the league into tiers based on their run blocking and their pass protecting. And the Bills were amongst the upper tier, the very top tier of 3 or 4 teams with success on both fronts. They have been, maybe elite is too strong, but like they have been one of the best units in the league this year and for a little bit now. Josh Allen also it's fair to point out, as we have with Cam Ward a lot, sacks are a offensive stat, right? It's not it is more of a quarterback stat than people want to give it credit to, even when it feels like it's not the quarterback's fault. Like it is a complete team effort thing, sacks are. And so young quarterbacks or quarterbacks that aren't great at managing a pocket or getting the ball out on time or whatever it may be tend to make life really hard on their offensive lines. Josh Allen, reigning league MVP, has gotten very, very good at making life easier on his offensive line. Now, he'll run around and dance back there, but he doesn't put them in precarious situations a whole lot. And that's part of the reason why they're one of the best in the league. Cam Ward, kind of the opposite, right? And the Titans as a group amongst I think they were in the very bottom tier of the way they divided it into 6 tiers. So when you get that comparison between a span of 4 days against the same group, I do think that's pretty eye-opening, and I do think that it puts the Titans' offensive line performance this year into some perspective, because I was on the primetime program here on the YouTube channel on Tuesday with Drew Beatty, who at Iron City Film, he and I were debating JC Latham. He does not like JC Latham. He thinks that his film is underwhelming, has been all year. He honestly thinks that he's a guard eventually in the league. We disagree pretty strongly on that. He was talking through kind of his, the devil's advocate argument for what we're talking about right now, about why he thinks Latham's performance was not as good as people were making it out to be, or maybe statistics make it out to be. He was pointing out that he thinks a lot of his success was due to chip help. I went back through Latham's tape after that episode, and he and I had to agree to disagree on that episode. I continue to have to agree to disagree with him on that. I don't think that he was babysat in the way that he kind of made him out to be in that game. We just kind of see it differently. All of that being said, I think that the Titans' offensive line has suffered this year from, one, out of the gate, losing pieces and not being able to kind of get the wheels rolling and get some momentum. But then two, and this is where we get to the broader conversation, they have played some outrageous defenses.
Yeah, I want to get to the JC Latham part of it and some more too, because Malcolm says I think the weight transformation has been a bit of an issue for Latham. He was much bigger last year. I don't know if it's the losing the weight, but I think it's just playing differently and feeling differently. And the hip injury that he went through has caused his process to just be completely disrupted. And so I think apparently they're changing cadences on a Friday going into a game after a bye week, and you're like, all right, whatever. I mean, you're going to do some weird stuff when you're trying to fix something.
Reference the words below your face right now on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's not make it complicated.
And I jammed out to that song this morning after I made the thumbnail, and we'll get to that here a little bit. But I think, JC Latham is – I've heard Ramon Foster on The Zone, who is a college tackle turned NFL decade-plus guard, say that JC Latham would probably be better as a guard. because he's not as good in playing in space.
That's true. That doesn't change the fact that
So yeah, there's two different
how
things.
How many
right?
tackles in the league would be better as guards? Most of them.
Most of them because they're protected.
Yeah, it's like
why does a college tackle? Again, I think there's a trickle effect of all these things. If you're recruiting college or high school athletes to college, you want to get high school tackles to play guard. Why? Because the high school tackle is the best offensive lineman that they have on that damn roster at that freaking high school. So why would you get unless you have like a weird situation where you have like an all-time guard or center in high school but normally it's each step of the way you kind of get narrower and narrower, yes, or you're as the competition gets higher. So
this is a little oversimplified, but here's the translation. Yeah. The guy playing the harder position would actually be better at the easier position. That's what you're saying when you say that.
Yes.
It's like, yeah man.
Center is a different beast because it's got a whole different plate of responsibilities. But yeah, obviously that makes a lot of sense. And you got to be able to move differently if you're a guard too. So there's more intricacies than we are making it. But yeah, overall, would J.C. Latham be a better guard than he would be a tackle? Maybe, but he still has the high ceiling at tackle, right? Would Peter Scoronci been able to kind of figure it out at tackle?
I was probably the loudest in the entire media market yelling into the wind during that whole saga when he was drafted that he should have played at tackle. I feel like we slowly over years have all collectively gotten to the point that we kind of wish they'd give him a chance. It's especially frustrating. Okay, maybe not you, but a lot of folks I know have changed their tune on this. It is especially frustrating to somebody like me who is team give him a try at tackle when I see the guy who drafted him, Mike Vrabel, who then refused to ever give him a chance at tackle, go to New England and draft Captain McShort Arms Part 2 this year in a similar range.
You can't start using the Mick before everything like I have been, because that doesn't make sense.
I do that all the time, first of all, in my own personal life. I don't know about you.
Okay. Yeah.
But he goes and drafts a guy in the similar range with similar profile, similar restrictions physically, and plays him at tackle immediately. And what do you know? He's not a world beater, but he's perfectly fine, and he's a serviceable left tackle for them. So it just, I think it is a big mistake they made when they drafted him, and I wish they had done it, but it's too late now.
And Chris says, so where do you get tackles in college then? I don't get that, Austin. Can you explain that further? So what I'm saying is, if you're recruiting for college and high school athletes, approaching the tackles in high school is the smart way to do. Sometimes those tackles translate to tackle in college, but sometimes you get the undersized tackle from high school to make a guard. It's just like not every high school
go recruit 4 tackles and you make 2 of them tackles and you make 2 of them guards.
Yeah, and then sometimes one of them might flip to the defensive line. I don't know.
Right.
Or you find a big defensive lineman that might flip the tackle in college. That happens somewhat often. It used to happen more.
J.C. Latham.
Because he was one of them. Well, he kind of flipped pre-college to. Sometimes you do that in college, but anyway, there's a million different ways to do this. And there's no way better than others, but trying to find the best athletes at each level to put in the best situations when they level up. And there's height and length restrictions, tackle versus guard in both college and the NFL, on and on. So, all right, let's go ahead and ask this question now and get more into the purposed question and topic of the show today. So here is once again the stats from Sunday for Cam Ward versus Texans defense to last night. Josh Allen versus Texans defense. Comparable completions and attempts. Josh Allen, way more yards on those comparable completions and attempts. 1 touchdown for Cam, no picks for Cam. 0 touchdowns for Josh Allen's. 2 picks for Josh Allen. Cam did have a fumble. Yes, he had 1 turnover, and Josh Allen had 2 turnovers. The Bills lose by 4. Cam Ward loses to the Texans by 3 after having that game-tying touchdown drive, 95 yards late in the fourth quarter for the Titans before the field goal squandered the whole situation here. But here's the question we want to get to. How do you feel about Cam Ward's performance now after watching Josh Allen and the Bills last night? Mm-hmm. How do you feel? Open-ended question. How do you feel about Cam Ward's performance after watching Josh Allen get bullied by the Texans last night? 8 sacks, for Josh Allen, 3 for Cam. So we're going to get to all those. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about Barton Drury Insurance Group. Complicated is a theme of today's show, and insurance is definitely one of the more complicated things that you can be dealing with in your adult life. I don't know how to do this. There's too many big words. The documents are too long. The fine print is too fine. I need an expert to help me with this. Well, Barton Drury Insurance Group can do that for you. They've done that with AtoZSports for our workers' comp policy a few years ago. And then when we were in the market for health coverage for our employees over the last 12 months, we shopped it around. We've talked to 4 different companies nationwide, as we are a nationwide business. And we landed with Barton Drury Insurance Group locally, owned and operated locally here in the Middle Tennessee area.
I thought you meant you talked to nationwide. I was like, we're throwing another insurance group under the bus.
Not on our side. Not right now.
Okay.
No, okay. Barton Drury Insurance Group has got us covered. They do a phenomenal job. They really do with presenting different options. It's open enrollment season, so they can help you out with whatever that looks like. 401k planning, they got that. So they do more than just insurance, whether it's business, personal, family, whatever it might look like. BartonDrury.com is where to check them out.
We're also brought to you by BTA Sports. Better for betters. Won some money last night with my primetime props. Shout out to everybody besides James Cook, who decided he was going to run all over the Texans defense. Anti-shout out, whatever the opposite of a shade towards the Texans defense for just
we do that on Tuesdays.
That's right. Taking the run game off last night. They did the rest of it pretty well, but they decided they didn't want to defend the run. That's fine. BTA Sports was a part of that decision-making on my my end of things. I loaded up the app. I checked on some things that I was feeling. I was like, what do the numbers say about how where my gut says on this? And they backed it up. It's like, yes, 67% chance this happens. I'm like, I like that. This is great. And we won. We went 3-1. You go 3-1 every day, you're making money. That's in large part thanks to BTA Sports, which you can use in the link in our description below to sign up for cheaper than you otherwise would using our code. So use those promo codes, get the BTA Sports app today, and make more money. It's that simple.
It is that simple. Okay, how do you feel about Cam Ward's performance now after watching Josh Allen and the Bills get bullied by the Texans? So I'm going to let Easton head to the chat to see what you guys are feeling as Cam Ward. I don't know if you want to objectively, subjectively, definitely not objectively. Cam Ward played just as bad as Josh Allen did against the Texans, but had the moment. Cam had the big moment in clutch time. Now, the Texans ended up winning that game where Josh Allen and the Bills could not quite do that last night. So what are you seeing from the chat? How do you feel about Cam's performance after watching Josh Allen last night?
Big 2033 says vindicated. Slightly better from Darius. Still didn't like it from Duran. The same. We just don't score or move the ball, which is still true from the Titans pros. Disgusted either way from Steven. Better LOL from Eric. Feel a little bit better. Validated. The same. Solid. Stays the same. Cam Ward still looks meh to Jason, so this didn't really bring a lot of perspective to his thinking. Daniel Caribbean says, I've always thought that Cam did admirable against a tough defense, and the Texans certainly are a tough defense. Tell Texan says, Allen was on a short week. Don't underestimate that. That's true. You know who else was on a short week? The Texans defense. So it's kind of the same in that regard. That's how that works. Let's see. Sean believes it's a game that the Titans should have won, which I think is fair to say. Nero says that he freaking loved it and he loves it even more now. So he's all in. He's all thumbs up and optimism and rainbow and sunshines from Nero. Hoshi says it doesn't really matter to him because it's any given Sunday for any team in the league, which is true. It's still the NFL. So a mixed bag from the chat so far, pointing out that he's a rookie, pointing out that maybe he's closer than we think, that the slate of defenses he's faced have kind of funhouse mirror, maybe warped the way that we see Cam Ward, and that's going to be kind of the nature of our discussion going forward today, Austin. But what do you say to this question?
So my one word on Sunday was conflicted, right? And that was about the entire game. I felt conflicted because the defense was playing well, and then the offense couldn't. And then the offense gets a 95-yard touchdown drive, and you're like, holy bleep, well, where'd that come from? And then the defense naturally just turns around and gives up an easy field goal drive for Davis Mills and Nico Collins to win the game, and there you are. So I was conflicted on how I felt because 13 points isn't enough. It should never be enough. It never should be acceptable for anybody's offense in the NFL to have a winning effort. I again, complicated is this word because this is the entire nature of what Cam Ward's rookie season has been. There was another game that I was like, I don't even know how to grade Cam because the game was just so nonsensical and it didn't matter. Like he's had a couple of these games where he's played okay, but the defense was so bad that it didn't matter, or his guys were dropping passes. The offensive line was bad. I think the offensive line has been much better as of late. I think his pass catchers have been much better. There hasn't been as many drops as of late. But for me, I'm trying to think of what game it was that I gave that I wanted to give the incomplete grade in the post-game show. I want to say it might have been that Chargers game.
I think
so. Because like if he's not being given the ability to make those plays because of the coaching decisions, then I don't know how to grade Cam Ward. But in this game and overall, watching Josh Allen struggle, I think something we have to realize and remember that bad games happen. And Josh Allen gets sacked 8 times, throws 2 picks, and loses to a Texans team on Thursday Night Football. And your reputation carries you. Josh Allen's nobody's freaking out over Josh Allen. I don't know what Buffalo media is doing this morning. But Sam Darnold last week throws 4 picks, and everyone's like, "Ha, told you." There it is. Sam Darnold sucks, right? Just like what happened with Daniel Jones in Pittsburgh. Oh, there he is. Danny Dimes is back. He's no good. So like everybody's waiting on that shoe to drop for the perceived bad quarterback who's on a hot streak. Just like Sam Darnold last year was really, really good, got to the month of January and then pooped his pants. But he's good again, right? And we're about to see him here on Sunday. And
right.
So I think we got to remember bad games happen for anybody, for everybody. And for Cam, it's just we haven't seen enough good consistent. It's like bad plays keep happening, not enough good plays keep happening. And then sometime when good plays keep happening for Cam Ward, bad things happen with one of his teammates, and it ruins the good play from Cam Ward. So again, complicated. It's how I feel overall about this entire season. He's got a fired coach who is second play caller already this year. Injuries up and down the offensive line and his wide receivers. It's just been a brutal 10 games for his career start.
Yeah, it has been brutal, and that's what I want to talk about next. But as to the nature of this question and what you just said, I saw some people last night, one of Josh Allen's sacks was a real run around, try way too hard to make something out of nothing and then get burned for it kind of play. And people were clipping that online saying, like, if this was Shedeur Sanders, you guys would be going crazy. Or you could say probably the same thing about Cam Ward. If this was Cam Ward, you guys would be going crazy. And it's like, yes, true. But also then that would be, a 5th-round rookie doing that, not Josh Allen, the reigning league MVP and the guy who last week went full fire-breathing dragon mode and scored 6 touchdowns largely on his own. So there's a difference, right? Like you get grace with some of these things. Josh Allen gets to have a game like that, and people don't panic over him in a way that, as you pointed out, Sam Darnold doesn't really have that luxury because he has still that pumpkin warning label hovering over his head that at any moment you're wondering, will this guy turn back into a pumpkin? With rookies, it's not even about turning back into a pumpkin. It's, will this guy ever, maybe not be a pumpkin? Will you ever turn into the beautiful carriage that takes you to the ball? Because we haven't seen with Cam Ward the streaks of not even streaks, like the games, you know what I mean? Like we haven't seen it in a game for a game. The guy be the guy. That's kind of step one is, can you for a game be the guy? Can you be the tractor quarterback we need? Can you pull this team to a victory? And they haven't gotten there yet. Now it's not to me at least super concerning given all the circumstances and given the quality of opponents that he's played, that hasn't happened yet through 11 starts. But that doesn't change the fact that we haven't seen it.
Yeah, and another thing too is you bring up these stats and you see like Cam, somebody in the chat mentioned that Cam was also down several of his, top targets, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Josh Allen had Shakir. He had James Cook bust a big run for a touchdown, but he didn't have Keon Coleman. He didn't have Kincaid, his best tight end
right
out there either. So
They're
Josh
missing
Allen was
another receiver too. I forget who.
yeah, I don't remember.
Somebody else left the game.
But they had, the Bills had more NFL skill players, in a higher level NFL skill players last night than the Titans did. Like the Titans were relying on Mason Kinsey, Van Jefferson, and then Chig, who was having to play like out of position sometimes. And like part of this rookie season, I mean, you fall, you crawl, and you break, and you got to take what you get and see what you can turn it into. And Cam Ward is doing everything he can to try to get some consistency, yet nothing has been consistent around him.
Agreed. Can we talk about some of the can we zoom out a little bit on how unbelievably unlucky the Titans have gotten?
We absolutely can. You just missed something though.
Uh-oh.
I thought I just brilliantly worked in an amazing lyric into my analysis just then.
I won't lie. I was thinking about what I was about to say. I didn't hear anything you said.
Of course, because Daniel Caribbean mentioned that A to Z's big Avril Lavigne fans. Because why you want to go and make things so complicated? Because of the thumbnail, the banger of a thumbnail that I put together today was this. And because I absolutely.
He's proud of his thumbnail when he uploads it to the StreamYards that he can show it on the stream.
Yeah, but I also literally just worked in the lyrics to that song.
Oh, did you?
And yeah, look, somebody got dropping lyrics with a straight face is crazy work. Because I just literally said, and you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into, and you had no idea that I just did that.
Yeah, I was off in my own land, man. I'm sorry I missed that.
I gotta say, that was amazing work by me.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say about yourself before we move on?
No, you can tell us all about Botero Carts.
Okay, Botero Carts. Life is short. Buy a golf cart with our friends at Botero Carts. They are as impressive as Austin's ability to work lyrics into his football analysis because
it made sense. It made sense.
We got it, man. Hey, I'm going to bring you some cookies today or something. I promise I'll show you some love. Locally owned and operated, Botero Carts is. They're a full-service sales and rental dealership with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and in Gallatin. 0% financing for 36 months on their cart starting at just under $6,800. They're open every day of the week, so head on over there whenever you've got some free time during the week, during the weekend, whatever it may be. No dealer fees, no credit card fees, no credit needed option if that's something that you're interested in. They've got it all. They've got everything you need for there to be no excuses for you to go and get a golf cart today. Life is short. Buy a golf cart. Do it with our friends at Botero Carts.
BTA Sports, I need a bounce back week. Bad. Because my college football slate wrecked me last week. So I need to go to BTA Sports for NFL bets this weekend. I'm going to do that. I downloaded the app back right when the season began. I used our code AtoZSports, and I signed up for the 12-month subscription. Then was $99. Now it's $79. But I made my money back after week 2 of the NFL season because of what BTA Sports has done. I've also continued to win bets because of BTA Sports. I picked Titans plus 9.5 versus the Chargers. That covered that. I had a 3-leg parlay that was plus 300 that BTA helped me hit 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I leaned on BTA and I won. Last week, I did college football, which BTA doesn't have yet. And I got crushed. But BTA Sports, they can help you out, make better sports bets. They also have a fantasy football lineup. What's the word? Lineup enhancer, like where you just optimize your fantasy football. Optimizer. Yeah. You can optimize your fantasy football lineup. It's pretty incredible. Right there, you can use the code ATOZSports when you click on the link in the Facebook title and the YouTube description to download the app. $79 for 12 months. If you don't want that, you get a 14-day free trial regardless. But you can also use code ATOZ14 for a $9.99 weekly subscription. Okay, Easton, you said the Titans have had some pretty brutal luck, and I'll let you kind of take it from here on how this goes.
Yes, they absolutely have. Let's start with something that we talked about earlier this week because there's a couple of different ways I want to take this. Let's look at the Tankathon graphic that we've showed a whole lot and pay attention to the 4th column from the left, the strength of schedule. The Titans have a 5-7-8. I believe it's been updated slightly different, but still roughly 5-7 and change. That is not just the hardest strength of schedule of these 12 teams listed on your screen. It is the hardest schedule through through 11 weeks plus Thursday Night Football of any team in the entire league, which is outrageous. Because if I need to remind you about the fact that I don't need to remind you about the fact that the Titans finished dead last year in the NFL, which you'd think typically then means you're going to get a last place schedule. It'll ease up on you, and it also brings. I was reading Paul Kaharski wrote about some of this yesterday, and he pointed out just how ridiculous. We all feel this way. A lot of the preseason strength of schedule measurements are when people use last season to determine the strength of schedule this year. How silly that is, right? Because teams last year and teams this year are different teams. So it doesn't really mean anything. And I think he went back and found that the Titans, according to that way of measuring it, had like the 24th hardest strength of schedule or something, one of the easier schedules in the league. Now, Warren Sharp, if you ever preseason want an actual, maybe more accurate way to measure that, Warren Sharp does it by Vegas, what Vegas's win total expectations are for the teams that year, which is a much more accurate representation of how hard the teams you're going to play are. And I think that had the Titans like as the 10th hardest schedule or whatever. So the point is, no matter how you measured it preseason, nobody saw just how difficult this year would be for the Titans. And because the Texans won last night to get to 6-5, the Titans are now in a division with 3 other teams that are all above 500. They are all playoff caliber teams right now. 2 of them are in the playoff, and one is firmly in the hunt. With the opportunity to win some tiebreakers against playoff teams and get them, they control their own destiny, right? There's a lot of football left to be played, but let's look at the playoff field right now. And I think what will stand out immediately is the fact that the Titans' last place schedule in the world's largest air quotes has them playing 13 of their 17 games against teams that are either in the playoff today or are inarguably playoff caliber. So, the 3 divisions they drew, who they play the entirety of, obviously you play the AFC South twice. There's the Colts, who are in contention for the 1 seed in the AFC, the Jaguars, who are currently the 7th seed if the season ended today and we got to the playoffs, and the Texans, who are the 8th seed in the AFC right now, on the outside looking in, but firmly in the hunt and trending in the right direction. They've now won 3 games in a row without their starting quarterback, who's coming back, so they're only getting stronger. That is 3 playoff caliber teams that you play twice. So there's 6 games against playoff caliber teams in your own division. You also drew the AFC West, where you have the Broncos, also firmly in contention for the 1 seed in the AFC. The Chargers, who still beat you, even though they were on their 7th string offensive line, and they're a team that is clearly in the playoff picture today. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who everybody expects to somehow weasel their way into the playoffs, because of course it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll get in there even though they are 5-5. So there's 3 playoff caliber teams you had to play in the West. Let's go over to the NFC, where you drew the NFC West. And if it's not clear at this point, you drew both Wests. They are the 2 strongest divisions, top to bottom, in the league, I think, kind of inarguably right now. Maybe the NFC North is the division that you quibble with on that front, but both Wests are rock solid outside of 1 team in both of those divisions, because 3 of the 4 in both divisions are in the playoff, or you're the Chiefs, and the Chiefs we expect to eventually be in the playoff. The NFC West has the Rams and the Seahawks and the 49ers, all of which have 7 or more wins right now. So you have 6 games against your own division. You have 3 games against the AFC West against playoff caliber teams. And you have 3 games against the NFC West against playoff caliber teams. That's 12 games. Where's the 13th? We'll throw in the kicker. The last place team in the AFC East last year was the New England Patriots, who are the 3rd team that are the AFC 1 seed right now is the Chiefs, or excuse me, the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Colts, all duking it out with 2 losses each. The Titans have played all 3 of those teams. And that is the unfortunate luck of the quote-unquote last place schedule draw the Titans drew by getting the Patriots as the last place team last year instead of the Jets. Yes, somehow the Patriots finished worse than the Jets last year. So that's 13 games against teams that, again, are either
because
in
the Jets had
right
Aaron
now.
Rodgers last year.
Yeah, good point.
That's a good, that's kind of like, I think, can take us into this next thing, is that somebody in the chat, where'd it go? Tall Texans, other teams got better, the Titans got worse. Simple answer. Because teams are different from year to year, right? Because the Jets are a great example of that. The Jets had Aaron Rodgers. They were more serviceable or closer to average with Aaron Rodgers. And then they get Justin Fields and a first-year head coach in Glenn, and they're trying to rebuild, and they stink, and now they're trading everything away. So they completely took a different direction with their franchise. The Titans leaned into the rebuild, and they've gotten worse. And for the immediate, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look at the Patriots, who are coming on the out of it. There's a lot of just situations.
I actually don't think it's this simple of an answer that other teams got better and the Titans got worse, because in terms of, like, we always talk about last place schedule. Oh, it's a last place schedule. It should be so easy. The only last place element of any last place schedule is 3 games, right? Because everybody in your division plays each other twice. Mm-hmm. Everybody is assigned 1 division from the NFC and 1 division from the AFC. And that doesn't have anything to do with where you're placed. That's just a cyclical thing that is predetermined years and years in advance. Yeah. The only last place element of your schedule is you play the last place team in the other 2 AFC divisions that you aren't playing the entirety of, and you play the last place team in one of a cyclical NFC division cycle deal. So
and
of
those 3 games are the Patriots, the Browns, and the Saints.
Right. So one of those 3 teams
is a world beater.
Or, the other two didn't really
Let's not say a world beater. They are a third world beater.
Yes. You know what? That is some of your better work.
Thank you. The Patriots are because the Patriots' strength of schedule is like under 0.4. I want to say it's like 0.37 the last I looked at it on Monday. So the third world beater is good. And then you have the Saints and the Jets sitting right there at 3 and 4 in the draft order currently.
Right. So really last year's Titans schedule, where it was also a last place schedule, was more of a bad break in the way that Tall Texan was describing it. Because I forget exactly who, but all 3 of because they had the Commanders were one of their last place teams, the Chargers were one of their last place teams, and somebody else who I can't remember. But all 3 of the last place teams on their schedule were teams that got notably better. The Titans this year, it's really only one of those teams. Now that one team is 9-2. Like, let's not discount that. But to your point, 3 and 4 on the draft order are the other 2 teams. It's just that they drew 2 divisions that are the best 2 divisions in the league, I think, and their own division has 3 teams that are above 500 in the playoff race. A more simple way to put this is that 13 of the Titans' 17 games are against teams that are not only above average NFL teams, but playoff caliber teams. Ooh. Only 4 of their 17 games are against below average teams in the NFL.
Yes.
So you'd think roughly it would even out to you play half of your schedules against above average, because half of the league is above average and the other half is below average. But no, for the Titans, it is 13 above average teams and 4 below average teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And above average isn't even really doing it justice, because a lot of those teams are playoff bye week contender above average.
Yeah, they're like tops of the conferences.
Like not like, oh, they're 6 and 5 right now. Some of them are that way, but we're talking about 9-2, 9-2, 8-2, 7-4.
So you're talking about how many teams is that? Because you have the 3 divisional teams. Is it 10 teams total?
Yes.
They make up the 13 games.
We have it's
10 fan bases and
it's 3 from the 3 divisions plus the Patriots. Yeah.
So 10 fan bases, 10 locker rooms, 10 coaching staffs that are sitting here going like, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Let's make the damn playoffs, guys.
Yeah, gearing up for late minimum, January.
Let's go. Like, this is our time. We're right there. You're in the hunt or you're in the graphic. And so I think that's, it's miserable, man. Like, it's just like the Titans are getting the worst luck. It kind of reminds me of the opposite of there's an SEC team. I think it's Texas A&M, who just happens their schedule just had like their SEC schedule just happened to be like the Patriots. The SEC has 16 teams, so you have like your top 8 and your second 8. Like A&M has played 7 of the second 8. Like that's just who they've been able to play, which is not their fault. That's how it's set up, and that's why I think in college the conversation of you're not playing enough conference games because your conferences are getting so big that Indiana last year played, I think, 7 of the or 9 of the bottom 12 Big Ten teams. And then they happened to play Ohio State too. And so that was it. And so I think it's
very Patriots-esque, right?
Yeah, it gets lopsided like that, not because of anybody's fault. It's just because that's how the schedule algorithms work.
Them's the breaks.
Teams change year to year, just like in college and now in the NFL, with so much movement in the offseason, especially at quarterback in both college and the NFL, that you don't know. Like if you try to, like in college, like you're scheduling these non-conference games years ahead, and you're expecting that team to be a positive on your non-conference record or schedule. But now you get there and they might suck. Just like you think the Patriots, you get a fourth place schedule, you get the Patriots. They're probably going to stink. Nope, they're pretty good. And they are beating up on an easy schedule too, because other teams have reversed.
One last way I want to frame this, and this is broadening it out all the way to a historical frame of reference. And I've already borrowed a graphic from Justin Graver this morning. I'm now going to straight up steal this research from Nick Suss, who talked about it on a shout out their show. He's on a football show on Thursday with Braden Gall. They do a great job. And after this ad read, I'll tell you all about what he said yesterday, which kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, first, let me tell you guys about Window Nation. I'm getting my new windows on Tuesday. Super excited about that. It's a 1 day in and out install. It's a big project. Windows for the entire new house are going to be a 1 day project. They're expecting normal business hours. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'll be off the show on Tuesday and Wednesday because we got cleanup after that, reset the house, but really pumped overall about our new windows. We took the deal that they had in September and October, which was buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, and 0% financing for up to 2 years. Now they have through this month 50% off all window styles. That's pretty incredible. So like whatever window style you want, if you have an odd number of windows, you still get that 50% off across the board. You're going to save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I know it from experience. Window Nation's been phenomenal to work with and so easy. And like really the install day, like we don't have to do a lot of work. Just kind of have to get out of the way and let them go do their job. And plus you can get up to 5 years of 0% financing with Window Nation. So many different ways to make these new windows increase the value of your home, the quality of your home, lower your other bills, but also really not create another bill. Like it's really no sweat the way they have these things set up. So check them out online, free estimate, which is huge, at windownation.com.
We're also brought to you by BTA Sports. Better for Betters. Use the link in our description below to sign up today for cheaper than it would otherwise cost you using our promo codes. Thanks to BTA Sports and AtoZSports partnership. We appreciate them, and I really appreciate their app as a better because it makes me make more money, and I like making more money. So you can too. Use the link in the description below.
Wildcat says, sadly, Window Nation does not service East Tennessee yet.
Yet. It's coming.
Yet.
Patience.
We talked about that. Yet. Go ahead with your info from Nick Suss that you're stealing because I'm stealing lyrics, you're stealing info and graphics. So
that's right.
Just keep that.
I mean, he didn't. This is just a stat, so he didn't invent it, but he did do the legwork to find it, and he emailed the guy at Pro Football Reference yesterday to get this information. So shout out to Nick and shout out to a football show when he's out on Thursdays. It's a must listen for me. I recommend listening to it. He on Pro Football Reference, found where they have a proprietary formula putting every team in NFL history's record strength of schedule into perspective on a grading scale of -10 to 10, -10 being the easiest schedule of all time, 10 being the hardest schedule of all time. And it's a formula that bakes in record, margin of victory, home field advantages, some other advanced metrics that we don't have to explain, but like, the way that we measure teams over long terms, DVOA, E kind of things. And the Titans through 10 games or 11 games? How many plays? They've played 10 games? 10 games. Through 10 games, their record is a 4.6 on that scale, which may not sound very high. But if the season ended today, that would be the third hardest strength of schedule in league history since the merger. Only easier than the 1970 Green Bay Packers, who were a 5.0, and the 1982 Baltimore Colts, who were a 4.8. Now, that's a partial schedule, and they still play some crappy teams. The
Baltimore Colts in what year?
In 82, which was, I believe, a strike-shortened season.
Yes, yeah.
But
so the third hardest. And
it will probably change once they play the Saints and the Browns, but they also still play the 49ers and the Seahawks this week and the Chiefs and the Jaguars twice, who are currently playoff teams. So it is going to roughly stay the same. And so whether it finishes as the third hardest of all time or the fifth or the 10th or whatever it is,
Hard.
That's outrageous.
Especially in the modern era.
Yeah, this is since the merger in, 1970?
65.
65, whatever it was. Yeah, since we were headed to the moon on the Apollo missions, this is the third hardest so far in ever. The Titans are still bad at football. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and no,
bad football team.
I think
bad football team.
That's the thing, is because I had some favorited comments that maybe we can get into in a second. But like going back to Paul Texans, other teams got better, the Titans got worse. Simple answer. So like the idea of this is accurate. The Titans are leaning in and have leaned in organizationally. Well, kinda. The front office leaned into the rebuild with a new quarterback, easier veteran contracts. They're trying to draft and build through that. That takes time, but is the most sustainable way to build a winner. And so they're just getting brutalized by focusing on that and then just having Daniel Jones resurgence project and Sam Darnold again, and the Jags and Liam Cohen getting off to a hot start in his first year. And then Davis Mills. Now the Texans were 3-5 with CJ Stroud. Like, think about this. If you were a Houston Texans fan and this is a few weeks ago, you watch your quarterback CJ Stroud get knocked the bleep out. And you're like, God dang it.
Season over.
What
season
is done? You're 3-4, about to be 3-5. And you're like, what the hell? You're like, okay, well, the Titans are coming up. We can win that game. So there's 4 wins. Now what? And then you beat the Jags, you beat the Titans, you beat the Bills, and you're 6-5.
We're back, baby.
You're like, oh, okay.
We're back.
Season's alive. CJ, take your time, buddy. Like, it's just it's kind of wild overall. So do we want to go ahead and get to our next question? Because I think this is kind of fun.
I think we should. One clarifying point from Durrani's asking strength of schedule. Yeah. How are they coming up with these numbers? It's just strength of schedule. It's like how many wins did the teams you play have? That's all.
Yes.
Now we can get to the question.
All right. The question is, which is worse? The Titans' luck or the Titans' ability to play football? Which is worse? Because the Titans' luck also includes injuries. So in August, me, you, and JT through training camp practice, we're talking about Calvin Ridley, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 yards. We're talking about Calvin Ridley, like really good year, breakout year with Cam to set him up. You're talking about Elikai Manor, household name. The defense was kind of a question mark. We understood that. But like you started the offensive line, somebody had the offensive line like top 5 in the league, right?
I thought they could be really good.
Yeah. And then you have injuries to JC early after in week 1. You have injuries and trades happen, just nonstop guys going out. Femi breaks his leg. Now Calvin breaks his leg. Cam can't hold on the ball.
Bryce Oliver's entire season is over.
Which I think that's a super under the radar loss for this team is Bryce Oliver. So which is worse, the Titans' luck or the ability to play football? So, Easton, you can tell us all about our friends at the Bone and Joint Institute.
Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. We love them. They are right off the interstate, off of I-65 South. If you are in the Brentwood, Franklin area, that's where you'll find the Bone and Joint Institute. Just a hop, skip, and a jump out of downtown Nashville. And whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. They're who we trust. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on their campus to help you recover. They do everything for your convenience under that one roof. Their clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab all in one place for you to get it all done and then head home feeling a lot better. Schedule an appointment with them today for any kind of injury you have in life at boneandjointtn.org.
BTA Sports, better for better. Somebody asked earlier, what's BTA's thoughts on the Titans plus 13.5 against Seahawks? Well, they like the Titans plus 13.5 against Seahawks. We'll leave it at that.
They really like it, actually.
They really like it. They do. They really like it.
Like it.
They really like Titans
it's
plus 13.5.
It's shocking how much they like the Titans.
It's kind of like, are you sure?
It's I don't believe you how much they
it's
like
okay,
the
you
Titans,
really like this.
Yeah.
You really like the Titans plus 13.5. How many units? How many units?
We will revisit on Sunday. Don't you worry. We will
Yes, we will.
revisit.
But BTA Sports, better for betters. They've been correct on Titans plus 9.5, Titans plus 5.5 against the Chargers and Texans, respectively. Download the app. Use the link in the Facebook title, YouTube description. We've got codes there, especially on YouTube, that really spell out what all you can get. With our 2 codes, you get a 14-day free trial regardless. ATOZ14 for a weekly subscription. ATOZ Sports for an annual 12-month subscription. Right there, BTA Sports, better for betters. Easton, I'll let you go to the chat. I did put up a YouTube poll on this as well. But which is worse, the Titans' luck or the Titans' ability to play football? Which is worse? Not a trick question. They're both. I mean, they're both bad. We understand. We're not trying to give the Titans a pass because they have "quote unquote" bad luck. No, right. They're bad at football and they have bad luck. But which one's worse?
MB says the Titans have the hardest schedule, but they're also the worst team. The tiebreakers are hurting them for the number 1 pick when they are the worst team. This is true. Not an answer to the question, but a good point nonetheless.
Yes.
Wait, am I not to the... Here we go. Daniel Caribbean. Titans luck for sure. We've been in some of these games. The luck is worse. Our luck, honestly. Duran says the ability or lack thereof to play football is way worse in his opinion. Randy says third option, the Titans organization to field a competitive coaching staff. All right, still mad at the coaches. Let's see. Their ability to play football is worse. I still see too many drops, fumbles, missed throws, whiffed blocks, pre-snap penalties. Fair. This is, again, they are a bad football team. No doubt.
Great analysis. Yeah.
Luck by far from Steve. Well, Bill, their ability to play football. So this is a real split topic right here. They got a massive haul of good luck with their only win. Well, this is true. That is the only real swing in the other direction the Titans have had all year long was a gift-wrapped win from the Arizona Cardinals. They really should be 0-10 right now, if we're all being honest. Tom, their luck is good. This terrible season helps them with he thinks the bad luck's actually good luck to allow them to get another first overall pick. Side note, by the way, apparently Amy Adams Strunk is talking right now. But peek behind the curtain, the Titans are doing this steel topping out ceremony for the last bit of steel they're putting in the stadium this morning, which I was invited to and declined because I was like, I got a show to do, and I figured it would be, I didn't need to be there necessarily. I didn't realize that Amy Adams Strunk and Roger Goodell would be there, which they are. So I'm kind of a little FOMO right now.
And they gave out pins.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Dadgummit. I'm a huge.
You're a big pin person.
I have a big collection of pins right here off screen of a million. Actually, watch this.
You're a pin pal.
See that?
Whoa.
There's my pin collection. Yeah. Whoa. I'm about to need a bigger box to put them all in. That is some people collect spoons or stamps. I get pins everywhere I go.
What?
You never been to a place and it's like, why is this a commemorative spoon? It's like a really old school thing. Yeah. I don't know. What do people collect? Thimbles? Shot glasses?
No, wait. We're going to ask this.
Keep going. Collect?
Okay. Yeah. Keep going. Luck or ability?
If you collect anything, get ready. Luck or ability? Ability to play. All teams have injuries. Titans have an ass roster, especially at receiver. True. So, bottom line, everyone has a different opinion on this, Austin. What is the poll on YouTube saying? Because it's split in the comments.
70% ability. No, I'm sorry. It's updated. 58% ability. So, never mind. It's only 4 minutes old. So, there's a lot of movement going on. But definitely way more on ability, although that's getting closer to 50-50. It's kind of crazy. Okay. Man, I did not know Amy was actually going to speak. That's a freaking Friday nothing. God, what I have thoughts on this.
Here she is on my YouTube. Holy lights! Go to Twitter, you'll find it. Paul Karski's all over it right now. I'm sure the statement is like very. We are excited for our new stadium. Thank you for being here. But still, there she is in the flesh.
I mean, maybe we'll get some new pictures of her on our database.
Please, honestly. I've been using the same 3-year-old picture of Amy all year long, and I'm sick and tired of it.
Yeah. So I think their ability is worse than their luck. I mean, I think we all know that this is just the worst combination. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I think whoever said it in the comments earlier, like they still have really bad pre-snap penalties. They have dropped, they have missed assignments, mental errors, all of these things. But I think where does coaching go into that? And I think, and like how, because they're playing a lot of young players, and young players and average players make more mistakes than good players.
Mm-hmm.
They have more, and I've said this before this season, they have more combination of young and average players than most NFL rosters. So they're by nature way more inconsistent than they need to be. And so some of that is by design. So
your answer is
my answer is ability. Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to get to another miniature topic that somebody mentioned in a second in the chat, but go ahead.
My answer is the other way around. I think it's the luck. Eric Super Chat says, to a certain extent, bad luck is hindering our ability to win games, which I think is absolutely true. Now, I don't think that they would be a 6-win team instead of a 1-win team with some better luck, but I do think that if they had the worst schedule in the league, like the Patriots, they'd look a lot different. Take the wins out of it. They would look on, the playing the worst slate of teams in the league, like the Patriots are. I think that they would look with our eyeballs, regardless of the record, a whole lot different. And when I think back to a lot of the things that have gone wrong for this team this year, like I've made no bones about this. I think the Titans made a tremendous mistake taking play calling from Brian Callahan after week 3. I think they made a tremendous mistake firing him after week 6. I think that it was crystal clear to me. It was clear to me then. It is crystal clear to me today after we've seen the Mike McCoy experiment that they should have stuck to the plan that they talked a big old game about all summer long. Continuity, consistency, stabilizing the franchise. We'll reevaluate at the end of the year. They should have let Brian Callahan continue to call plays and not fired him until the end of the season or until he lost the locker room, whichever one came first. And no, he had absolutely not lost the locker room at the time of his firing, not even close. And then they should have fired everybody at the end of the year. That's what should have happened. And when I think back to why that didn't happen, well, after week 3, who'd they played? Well, they'd played the Colts, they'd played the Rams, they'd played the Broncos, the three teams that are all in contention for the number one.
All 2 lost teams, right?
All 2 lost teams vying for a playoff bye right now.
And think about this. One of those losses, of those 6 losses, is to each other. No.
Yes. 2 of them.
2 of those. The
2
Colts lost to the Rams and the Colts beat the Broncos.
Correct. So I think that, and the Titans, again, scored 17 points per game on offense in those games. The offense was not good, but they actually did score some points. They were also in each of those games to some extent. So it's not like they got throttled in all of those games. We know all of the intricacies of what happened and why what happened. But bottom line, if they had played not those 3 teams in the opening 3 games and gotten unlucky, I think that history would have looked a little different. I think that if they had not played such a ridiculous schedule to start outside of the Raiders and the Cardinals, then maybe every milestone when I look back on the history of this season feels like it's directly influenced by the way that their schedule has bore out. And it's moments like we're talking about today where it's the Titans lost to the Texans with a backup quarterback on Sunday by 3 points. And we're all like, oh, this team stinks. Here's all the problems. And then 4 days later, the Bills do the same thing and look arguably worse. And that changes our perspective. I keep having moments like that where perspective is shifted by the rest of the league in relation to how the Titans schedule looks. And then I also get these stats and look at the third hardest strength of schedule all time in the history. All of these things continue to shift the way that I look at the Titans. And so I think that luck element, especially when we're in this critical period of Cam Ward's development, his rookie year, where it's kind of a sink or swim moment for any rookie quarterback. You want to get this first part right. The Titans have gotten so unlucky and have been unable to, I'm not sure they could have done anything. I'm not sure it was within their power to really set him up for success, given the way that this season is broke. They've really messed some things up, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But even if they did everything right, if we went back and hindsighted everything, I still am not sure that there was much that could be done given the luck of this schedule.
Every team in every sport that wins a championship has luck involved, right? Luck is a part of sports.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody admits that bad luck happens too. And I also think I find myself before each season, teams that I pay attention to is, man, what's the list of players that this team can't afford to get hurt, right? The list of players that got us, they got to stay healthy. This team's pretty good if insert name here stays healthy. This team can do something if they have the right guy stay healthy. And I'm looking at that list of who are those guys for the Titans that we would talk about preseason. Man, they really need Jeff, JC, Calvin, Zeitler, Cushionberry in a different way because he was coming off of an injury. Like, that's 5, right? Sneed.
Yes.
6.
Yeah, off the top of my head, 6.
And those 6 are all players who have missed games because of injury.
Yeah.
Sweat.
Yep.
There's 7.
I'm sure we're missing another.
I mean, those are the man. You got to make sure these guys stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam's obviously on that list, but I wanted to list guys that were missed because Bryce Oliver under the radar missed this year. Or I didn't even say Arden Key because I don't think he would have made the preseason list.
Right.
But he missed games.
He did.
You probably would have said, man, you just need the edge group to stay healthy. And you're down Arden and Femi for injuries for several games, and then you trade away Draymond Jones because
it has been a season from hell for a team that is not very good.
Yep. So MB brought this up. That's why the draft system is dumb. Talking about the strength of schedule. Does anyone know with 2-win team which 2-win team is the worst? They need a lottery system. Period.
Massive double thumbs down, but that's a topic for another day. Couldn't disagree more. Hate lottery. Hate.
I do too.
If you love the lottery, go be a big NBA fan. They do the lottery big over there.
And they cook it.
If you say so.
I mean, go look.
And it's rigged. You like lotteries? Do you like rigged lotteries?
Look at the New York Knicks lottery first overall pick.
I have heard these theories.
I mean, just look at Dallas.
I know. I've heard the argument. I
stumbled away, and their ping pong ball just happens to be the first one for Cooper Flag.
There are some coincidences that are questionable. I know.
All right, time for some good news here on this show. If you've got good news,
did you have another mini topic, or was this a good news mini topic? It was
going to be the lottery thing.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't. You clearly wanted to wait, which is fine. We can save that for a rainy day because we will need it.
We will need it. That's right.
So good news time. Also, what do you collect?
Yes. What do you collect?
Good news. Share what you collect.
And how impressive is your collection?
Yeah. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. You can see them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. That is where to turn for your new ride. Save some money there, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. So you can share good news or what do you collect? My American Top says, I collect NFL losses.
And my collection is impressive. Yeah.
Last 52 games. Collection.
This is not a collection thing, but I just love this comment from Vanessa. Nothing more rigged than McDonald's Monopoly. Love that.
Is this still a thing?
I think it is.
Oh, it is, but it's digital now.
It's digital, which to me takes all the fun out of it.
So sketchy.
It used to be I used to tear it up at McDonald's with the little peel offs. Loved. I would get like me and my boys would go, and instead of getting like a full meal with like a large fry, we would order like 3 small fries and $2 menu burgers, so that you get like 5 peels. You know what I mean?
Maximize get as many of those as you can.
That's right.
But
they had a good thing going with McDonald's, and they ruined it with phones.
Yeah, stupid.
Idiots. Anyways.
All right, do you see some good news in the chat?
I do. Good news from Brad. Taking my wife and daughter to watch the Sooners play Missouri tomorrow. Will be my daughter's first college game, and she is stoked. That's electric. That'll be a lot of fun. Nick Ewing says,
there's a lot of college football drama to happen the next few days.
Yes, there is, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to profiting on it in my sports book. Nick Ewing says, good news, went to Kansas City for K-State's 21-point dub versus Mississippi State last night. We're talking basketball now. I got confused for a second. Going to Indiana next week to see K-State versus the Hoosiers, and Thanksgiving to end a fun birthday. But I mean, he's got a lot going on, Nick Ewing. I'm jealous. Sounds like a lot of fun stuff coming up. Duran says he collects watches. Probably has about 50 or so. That's an
Dang.
impressive collection of watches.
Duran, look at the jacket and
No, it
shirt.
tracks.
Yeah,
It
that tracks. Yeah. I bet
Yep.
that's pretty sick. If that's a real image, not AI.
I think that's real. The Titan Bros 73 says, my good news is me and three of my brothers in-laws and a cousin are all on a flag football team that has a 7-on-7 tournament tomorrow. I collect money. I'm doing a bad job. Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Good news from Z Wildcat. My new railing at my house is finished and I am heading to Nashville Sunday for the Seahawks game. Well, I hope that it is worth your trip somehow, some way. Good news from DeChristofel. I experienced the faster response from our government with my military disability rating going up and being back paid within 2 days. Nice.
That's pretty dang quick.
Dre, collect postcards.
Man, I guess the government's like rested and ready to do stuff now.
It's funny how that works. Postcards, remember where he goes? I bet that's a pretty impressive collection. I'm curious how you are they in a box? Do you display them somehow? Like, what is the nature of your storage for the collection? That's important to me. Good news from Fayette Edwards. Coming to the game for my annual Titans loss for my birthday. Okay, at least we understand what's going to happen. Daniel Caribbean, my buddy, is heading down from New York City this week to go scuba diving with me all week. I love that the guy is actually in the Caribbean. Yeah. It's either an extensive bit or he actually lives there because he's constantly talking about it. I think it's real.
Yeah.
Keelan Allen, good news. At least my Spurs are winning. Fair. I wonder how many Spurs fans are converted Mavericks fans. Because I know that Mike Herndon, for example, was a Mavs guy his whole life until the
Luka trade.
Right, and then he swore them off and just switched. Which, honestly, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Tall Texan, good news. Spurs can still win even without their best two players. So we got some Spurs fans in the chat today. This is crazy. Eric, good news. I'm off all next week, and I sometimes collect my toenails. Let me live. What does that mean?
No, you don't.
You don't collect toenails. Pics. Send us a pic of your toenail collection. If
No.
You dare.
No. You can show him your buddy Rex Ryan.
Yeah. Jason says, good news. Buck isn't in charge of the NFL draft. The number one pick should go to the worst team. This is in the NBA. Yeah, Buck got a lot of heat for supporting a Barstool theory on Twitter. I don't know if you saw this.
No, I did not.
A clip from one of the Barstool's million podcasts, a guy saying that he thinks that NFL teams should be required to win 4 games to get a first-round pick every year. Basically like an anti-tanking mechanism, which Buck was like, I'd be all for this. And
hey, I'm open to have a conversation. I'm open to figuring out how to best.
I'm open to something.
Yeah, I'm open to some type of qualifier. I mean, to just qualify for a first-round pick is pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, what they'll never do, but is like a very common one that I have always thought would be fun, is like during the dead week, or I guess the Pro Bowl week in between the conference championships and the Super Bowl, having the worst 2 teams in the draft order play for the first.
Yeah, but you can't do that because you got guys on expiring contracts and coaches on fire. Yeah, but it's not.
Don't care. Sounds fun. I'm just saying that would be fun.
You're not gonna have a bowl game.
Be fun though. Eric says, good news. Oh wait, that's the collect toenails guy. That guy says, I collect golf pencils from each course I play. That's a good one. That's a common one. I've seen that.
Texan says, good news. They have facilities for toenail collectors.
It's true. They do. Called mental institutions.
You didn't have to complete it. It was we all got it.
Let's see. Anything else collection wise? Anybody else collecting anything? Do you collect anything, Austin?
I collect like my media credentials and that, and like it used to be tickets, the game tickets when I was a kid growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turned into media credentials, and at some point, I don't know. At some point down the road, the idea is to have like the shadow box of just like collage of media credentials of different things that I've covered or events that I've gone to, that kind of stuff.
Hello Lady says he collects knives, watches, fragrances, and jewelry. Wow. Okay. Vanessa collects funny or unique t-shirts since high school. That's fun. I like that. JT chiming in our chat. He collects Tampa Bay Lightning jerseys, which is true. I've seen the collection. It's impressive. Okay. Toenails is wild. I agree. Toenails is wild.
Anything else? Good news that you wanted to share, or good with your pin collection?
Yeah, that's the good. Maybe I'll be able to steal a pin from somebody that doesn't care about their pin today at the facility when I go in a couple hours.
I'm going to text as many people as I know and say, Easton wants your pin. Make him pay for it. Dollars.
Make him pay for it. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Now I'm questioning what amount of money I would pay for that pin.
I mean, yeah, probably not much. All right. That's it for us here on this Friday. Had a great week of content. The game versus the Seahawks will be live on Sunday for our pregame, halftime, and postgame show. We will see you guys then. Have a great start to your weekend. Appreciate it as always. Talk to you later.